Cypress Financial Group presents the Retirement Roundtable Podcast with John Scallan. Get more at cypressfinancial.net. Now, let's get to the show.
My name is Mark Owens, and John, before we jump right in, I think it's worth noting you live here, you work here, you play here, and there are multiple locations of Cypress Financial where we can meet you. Where can we find you?
You are correct, good man, and great to talk to you this morning, Mark.
Yes,
as
sir.
always, Mark, in the heart of Metairie, Causeway Boulevard, 3421, real close to Lakeside Mall, on the North Shore, Florida Street. Have a great office over there to serve our clients on that side of the lake. Mark, I actually was in Amite, Louisiana, meeting a beautiful, lovely couple at their office in Amite, swung back through Hammond. Point is, we will meet our clients where they are. At their homes, at their businesses. We do a lot of employee benefits work. So we're all over this community. Mark, quite frankly, we're all over the Gulf Coast, meeting with our clients. Sometimes for reviews, they'll want to do something digital like Zoom or Teams. The bottom line is simply this: we are here to serve. It is our job to communicate with you at a time and a place and a venue that makes it the best possible for your situation, to understand what you have, to understand this financial plan that we have collaborated on. And again, it is truly a joy to sit across the table from our clients wherever they prefer to meet.
You know, you sound like a politician. You think about running for office the way you serve this community, John?
Oh, Mark, I'm too old and too tired. I don't think I could take all the constant. Listen, in my world, we're talking about hopes and dreams. We are laughing together. We are celebrating together. We're having dinner together. I mean, I look at these politicians and it just seems like a poison fest, right? It just, let's agree on something. We don't have that problem at Cypress Financial. We agree on, really one premise, and that is, let's design this life that you have earned. Let's make this next chapter be the best chapter it could possibly be.
Yeah, you're not slinging mud, buddy. You are slinging retirement dreams at Cypress Financial. Let me give that number, 504-732-1001. John, people are living longer than ever, and one longevity specialist says it's never too late to start extending your life. I want you to hear this clip from Dr. Gregory Charlotte on Barron's Roundtable, and he says,
if you look at exercise, if you start exercising now in your 50s, 60s, even 70s, your chances of living longer go up, your chances of Alzheimer's go down, your risk of falls and fractures drop. Same with nutrition. If you beef up your nutrition now, if you have better social relationships, improve sleep, there's good data for all those things that even in your 70s, if you start them, you will see benefits in Alzheimer's, life expectancy, cancer prevention. It's endless.
I love that he says, like, even into your 70s, never too late to add years on. But sometimes people hear that and they go, yeah, that could be great news, but maybe not. So why do some people worry about living longer?
Mark, I mean, what I actually hear in that clip is the biggest challenge in this business. It's the biggest challenge, in this business in my lifetime, because nobody tells you this about a long life. So let me have the privilege of saying it. Living longer doesn't add years to your retirement. What it does, Mark, it actually multiplies everything inside of it. Let me show you what I mean. I mean, picture a man who retired in 1990.
Okay.
60 years old, and everybody agreed, he had a real solid plan. Let's say today he's 96 years old, still sharp, still drives himself to church. But think about what that solid plan that everybody agreed was so great has had to live through. Think about the .com crash, the 2008 Great Recession, a pandemic, the multiple flash crashes that we had. And Mark, here's the quiet one that nobody ever feels happening. Think about this. 36 years of inflation. I mean, in 1990, a stamp cost 25 cents the day he retired. So his plan wasn't wrong, Mark. It was built for 20 years. And guess what? His life had other ideas. Somewhere in his early 80s, the plan was on life support. And think about it. He had a third of his retirement still to go.
But in that situation, great story, good on him, still living his best life. But we don't know we're living to 96. So isn't building a whole plan around that like packing for the trip that you're never going to take?
I mean, Mark, that's a fair comment, but flip it around, because the two mistakes don't cost the same thing. You pack for a long trip and it turns out to be shorter. Well, no problem. Your family inherits everything that's left. Nobody's hurt. Now run it the other way. You plan to 85 and you're healthy as a horse at 88 years old. I mean, what's the move, Mark? Go back to work at 88? You see, one of those potential errors is simply a larger inheritance to the family. The other one is certainly way more problematic.
Okay, I want to go back to something you said a minute ago. You said living longer multiplies everything. That sounds tough because it sounds like we're saying the blessing of a long life makes everything not better, but it almost makes it more challenging.
Yeah, Mark. I mean, not more challenging, but just bigger. I mean, think about this. Every year you add, that's another year of inflation that just chews away at the buying power of your retirement assets. Another market cycle you've got to sit through, right? Healthcare costs, maybe some little fees compounding away in the background. Things that barely matter over 10 years become a completely different story over, let's say, a 35-year period. That's the multiplier. And Mark, I'll just say the uncomfortable part out loud. I mean, you can't tell by looking at your balance whether your plan's built for 25 years or 40 years. You just can't tell. The account looks exactly the same either way. You simply have to test the plan, to stress test it year by year against a long, healthy life. Mark, the good news works just like the doctors said. Even in your 60s, your 70s, it's never too late to stress test your retirement plan, your retirement assets. Mark, you just have to actually test it instead of worrying about it.
John Scallan and the team at Cypress Financial, they want to build you a retirement plan that lasts as long as you do. So the real question isn't whether you'll get the long life, it's whether your plan survives that life. And like John said, you can't tell from the balance, it has to be tested. As we talk about income in retirement, most people know the longer you delay Social Security, the bigger the check will be. But only about 1 in 10 adults actually wait until the age of 70. Now, that may be starting to change. More retirees are drawing from their 401ks first so they can hold off on claiming their Social Security and hopefully get a bigger benefit. I got to be honest, my gut tells me I don't like this. Spend down my savings so I can wait on a check the government already owes me? That feels kind of backwards.
Yeah, Mark, I would agree with that. It does feel backwards. And, honestly, the gut feeling right there, what you're feeling right now is why 9 out of 10 people never do it. Mark, let's just make it real here. I mean, picture a couple. He's 62, she's 60. They're both finished working. Now, here's how they play it. When she turns 62, she goes ahead and claims her check. Fine, real money coming in the door every month. Now, his check, in this case, it happens to be the bigger of the two. Now, what they decide is let's let that one grow. He waits. And the 401k that he's so diligently worked and saved and grown covers the gap in between. Mark, every year he holds off past his full retirement age, also known as FRA. That check of his from Social Security, it grows by roughly 8% per year all the way to age 70. And Mark, get this, when it finally kicks in, It's not just bigger, it's protected for life. Since 1975, the average cost of living increase to Social Security recipients is 3.8%. Mark, there's almost nothing else out there built like that. And notice the 401k, it's not covering everything. It's just the gap. Meanwhile, they're thinning out that very account that the IRS is going to force withdrawals from in their 70s anyway. So they've eased tomorrow's tax squeeze with this same move, Mark, and that's the secret hiding in this whole thing. It's not just how much you've saved. Sometimes it's the order in which you take distributions from that money.
You say there, it's the order in which you take the distribution of the money. I want to focus on that for a second here because, John, really, what does it matter? What difference does the order make?
Well, Mark, at the grocery store, you're right. But on the way out of your accounts, you see, that's where every dollar's got a different price tag hanging on it. $1 out of the 401k, Mark, it drags income tax along with it. Pulled too much, too many in 1 year, you might shove yourself into a higher tax bracket, and there goes the benefit you were building. Pull too much, you can cross the lines where Medicare quietly starts charging you more. Same coverage, bigger bill. Now, meanwhile, that delayed Social Security dollar, Mark, this shows up with none of that baggage and that inflation cost of living adjustment raise built right in. Same dollars, very different price tags. If you spend them in the wrong order, and the strategy that should have paid you, sometimes it's going to cost you. And Mark, let me just tie it off real quick. Remember, we do financial plans, comprehensive financial plans. Mark, this is not guesswork. When you come in, this plan that we've started with right in the beginning, it's a living, breathing document. We're going back to the plan. We're saying what makes sense this year in terms of the order of the distributions. What kind of tax implications could we encounter by taking distributions in scenario 1 or scenario 2? So, Mark, I know this gets complex, but again, I really want to emphasize you're not alone. Mm-hmm. We're talking to you guys at least twice a year. We are weeding the garden, pulling the weeds, talking about taxes, legacy. We help you navigate this throughout your entire retirement journey.
Why are more people not taking advantage of an opportunity like this?
You know, Mark, knowledge is not power. Knowledge that you act upon. Knowledge that you continue to seek throughout retirement, knowledge that you glean from these really critical conversations with your financial professional, that is power. I mean, Mark, I'll go back. Look, I know you're probably going to bill me for this because this is your line. I mean, but Mark, how many times have you said on this show, income is the outcome in retirement? Mark, I'd like to say that we can develop a plan, put a button on it and say, this is it, but that's not reality. Tax laws change. Our clients' health changes, their dreams and hopes and travels and health and all of these things. This is a journey that is very dynamic. And I just have to say, a real trusted relationship with your advisor who has built a plan that's specific to you, not a cookie cutter plan, but a plan that's designed around you and a plan that changes. This is the real power of being able to get the knowledge you need to make these decisions and change on a dime should your life, your goals, or your objectives change. That's what we do at Cypress Financial. 504-732-1001. Pick up the phone. We'd love to talk to you about this next incredible chapter of your life.
Yeah, John's building you a plan. 504-732-1001. All right, John, So I know, and I hate to put your business out there, John. I know you're a huge Taylor Swift fan. You can
wait a minute. Didn't you go to the wedding, Mark? Weren't you in Madison Square Garden?
You know what? My ticket must have gotten lost in the mail. I don't know. It is funny. I don't dislike her. I mean, I respect what she's done. You know, I kind of like her country stuff a little more than pop, but I do have a teenage daughter, and she is a huge Swiftie. So you better believe in the Owens household, we've been keeping up with this wedding. And I kid you not, Caroline even asked me. She even said, "Daddy, can we go to that wedding? I mean, it's at a big venue. We can go right." I was like, "Oh, bless your sweetheart. No, we cannot."
What a beautiful dream, I have to say.
Right. But, you know, as we're talking about the nuptials between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, the rumor is they spent somewhere between $10 and $20 million on that wedding. And anybody that's planned a wedding knows how that goes. The venue, for them, that's just the start. And then it's the little items that blow up the budget. But here's the thing. At least every one of those line items bought them something. The flowers, the band. So when we have fees, are you actually getting what you're paying for, John?
Mark Owens, that, my friend, is the right question. And so many people never ask about it. I mean, every fee conversation in this business is, quote, how much? That's the wrong question. Or half the question anyway. The whole thing goes like this. Don't ask what your fees cost. Ask what they do for you. Fees are never an issue in the absence of value. And Mark, let me paint you a picture of why that matters. I mean, imagine a widow, 81 years old, careful and conservative her whole life, never took a risk that she didn't have to. You know, 20 some years ago, she bought an investment product with an insurance benefit attached, lifetime income protection. And Mark, for 20 years, that account grew. And the fee, about 3%, came out every single year. Now, Mark, then 5 years ago, she actually flipped the switch and she turned the income on. And here's what almost nobody understands about these things, Mark. That monthly check she gets, that's not the insurance company paying her. That's her own money coming back out of her own account. And Mark, in all of those years, nobody asked her one simple question. What is this fee still doing for you?
But she had the lifetime income protection at 81 in this situation. John, people are living longer than ever. We talk about it all the time. So if somebody wants the check that can't run out, isn't it her? Like, how is that not worth 3% to have that lifetime income?
I mean, Mark, it looks that way, doesn't it? The word sounds like exactly what an 81-year-old needs, right? But follow the money, Mark. The insurance only ever pays out of its own pocket the day her account hits zero, not a day before. Until then, remember, Mark, every check is just a return of her own savings with the growth coming back to her, with the fee coming out the whole time. Mark, now she's 81 years old, and there's still a few $100,000 sitting in that account. For that insurance company to ever pay $1 that wasn't already hers, she'd have to outlive every bit of that money first. You know, at the pace she's drawing it, we're talking about deep into her 90s, maybe 100 years old. So the most likely ending to this story, she pays that fee every year for the rest of her life, and the insurance never pays out a dime that wasn't hers to begin with. Now, Mark, this is not all annuities, but there are certain annuities that actually work that way.
Let's talk about that for a second. Unless the market tanks, that account, it's still invested. So if there's a couple of ugly years, it could burn through it a whole lot faster. Isn't that exactly the disaster that we have insurance for?
Mark, it is. That's the one road where it finally kicks in. But let's look at what that road is going to cost her. A bad market has to chew through her life savings first, with a fee collecting all the way down. And Mark, this is before the insurance company ever spends their first dollar. And here's another point. For some people at some stages of life, this particular trade is absolutely worth making because it can be real protection. Here's the question, and the question is whether it's still worth it for her at 81 years old, at her age, her balance, her pace. And Mark, that's not a feeling, that's arithmetic, because the fee doesn't expire on their own. The math never lies. They keep collecting long after the job's finished. You've got to ask every few years, what is this fee doing for me now? For clients out there who've had these older annuities that they have not looked at, it is critical that you get a professional to look at it and make sure that this fee is still worth what you're paying for.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Cypress Financial Group. Cypress Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Cypress Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any reference to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Cypress Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Cypress Financial Group. This radio show is a paid placement.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. Please note it is not possible to invest directly into the S&P 500 index. This measure is provided solely as a gauge of overall market performance. Standard & Poor's, S&P, and S&P 500 are registered trademarks of Standard & Poor's Financial Services, LLC, S&P. The historical performance of the S&P 500 is not intended as an indication of its future performance and is not guaranteed.